Hi everybody, welcome to another Gentle Yoga Flow with Dan. I'm Dan Richards and been teaching this Gentle Yoga Flow video class since the pandemic started, and sort of evolving with it, I think, as we go through this whole process. But today thought we're going to focus a lot on the arms and shoulders a bit. And as usual, we will start off in a seated position. So today, the main prop, if you have a chair available, that would be great. It's not needed, but it might come in handy, come with some of the things we want to do. And then, or have a wall available that you can use. Other than that, why don't you find a nice, comfortable seated position, and really find your sitting bones at the bottom of your pelvis. Kind of feel them, rock back and forth on them, so that you can press them into the floor if you're sitting on the floor. Cushion or a block or a book, whatever, if you're sitting on a blanket, anything to lift yourself up makes being seated a little bit easier for many of us. And so we'll come to a nice seated position. Close your eyes. And bring your attention and your focus to your breath. So, one moment you weren't thinking about your breath, the next moment you were. Just notice the difference. And then as you're noticing the difference, start to develop a nice, gentle inhale through the nose that lifts the whole body up. So you're inhaling, lifting up all the way through the spine, letting the air come all the way up into your head, lifting, feeling like a whole balloon effect as you inhale. And then as you exhale, let all the air out sort of at the same pace as your inhale. And you can let the air out through your nose or your mouth, whichever feels better for you. And we are going to just sit and breathe for a couple moments here, letting the air go in and out of the body, just feeling the breath, letting the body move up and down with it, finding a steady pattern. Each inhale, lift up, press the sitting bones down. Each exhale, let the air out, keep pressing the sitting bones down. You may hear the rain in the background as I sit in this room and the windows are open. There's a nice gentle rain coming down today, which is nice given how dry it's been. So happy to have some rain, feeling some gratitude towards the rain. And then bring your palms together at your heart center, while the breath continues in and out. And as your breathing continues to expand in and out with the inhale and the exhale, bring a sense of an intention to your practice today, whatever that might be. Maybe it's to try and focus on your breathing. Maybe it's to think about something in particular you care about, someone you care about. Maybe it's just not to judge yourself today and let your body be whatever it's going to be today. Recognizing that in this moment, all that matters is what's happening in this moment. And then lower the hands back to the thighs. And then gently open your eyes. are going to come out of our seated position. We'll come up to a standing position. And you can put whatever you were sitting on over to the side a little bit. And we'll come to a standing pose. And we'll come to Tadasana. And you can either come to this pose with your toes touching and your heels slightly apart like this. You can also spread your feet hip width, but keep the feet parallel, right? So that your feet are pointing straight ahead if at all possible. And then bring your hands by your sides. Stand up nice and tall. Let the palms arms sort of rest wherever they're going to rest, with just a slight outturn of rotation. So the palms are sort of have a forward-facing position. And you'll notice as you do that, it sort of pulls the shoulders apart a little bit for many of us. And then really find your feet. Soften your toes. Lift the toes up off the mat maybe even. And press the ball of the feet, the heel, sort of feel what happens when you lift your toes off the mat. Feel what parts of the feet are touching the floor. And press those down as you stand up as tall as you can. And then gently lower the toes back to the mat, keeping them soft. Come back to your breath. Even inhale and exhale. Now today, for almost all of our poses, what we're going to do is a 5 breath rule. Every pose we want to hold for 5 breaths. So our first one will be in this Tadasana pose with our arms up. So inhale the arms straight up. Come back to your breath. We'll do 5 breaths here. Nice, long, even breaths. Maybe a count of 4 or 5 on each breath. Last one. And then exhale the arms back out to the sides. Staying in Tadasana. Feet are nice and straight. Nice and strong. Toes are straight. Toes could be in. Could be doing it this way. Doesn't matter. Next Tadasana pose will be to bring the arms up and then out to the sides. Palms up. Now come back to your breath. And as you inhale, reach the fingers as far apart as you can as you rotate the arms so that the thumbs are dropping towards the floor and the pinky fingers are starting to rotate up towards the ceiling. And each inhale, maybe find a little more rotation, maybe open the chest, pull the thumbs back towards each other. You can open your gaze up, letting the gaze go up towards the ceiling. Arching the back a little more. Keep reaching with the fingers. Couple more breaths. One more. And then come back to center and lower the arms down. Back into Tadasana. Stand up nice and tall. Inhale the arms up. Interlace the fingers and press the index fingers together as you reach for the ceiling. Take a big inhale, press the feet into the mat. Inhale, reach up as high as you can. As you exhale, bend to the left. So I'm bending to my right just to mirror you here. Each inhale, again, 5 inhales here. Each inhale, reach with the index fingers. Reach, reach, reach. Try and straighten the arms. Last inhale, come on back to center. Exhale, release the fingers, interlace the fingers the other way. Press the index fingers together. And then take a big inhale, press the feet into the mat, reach up. Exhale, bend the other direction. Left side for me, right side for you, if you're facing me. Each inhale, reach with the fingers. Keep the feet soft, toes soft. Feet firm, toes soft. Last inhale. Inhale, back to center. Release the arms back to their sides. Back to regular Tadasana. Inhale the arms out to the sides. Next inhale, bring the right arm under the left, crossing at the elbows, bringing the palms together. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Back to your steady breath. Each inhale, lifting the elbows a little bit higher. Last big inhale. Exhale, back out to the sides, palms up. Big inhale, arms crossed, going the other way, left to under right, palms come together. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Each inhale, lifting the elbows ever slow, slightly. Keeping the feet firm and the toes soft. Two more inhales. Lift the elbows ever more. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale, let the arms come back out to the sides. And lower down. And come out of Tadasana. Okay. Shoulders should feel nice and loose. Okay. One last arm pose. Have your feet turned out. Let your knees go out over your toes. I'm going to do goddess pose. So start here. Bring your hands to your hips. Lower your hips, bend your knees. Keep the chest up, so you don't want to be leaning forward. Chest is up, nice straight back. Sink the hips some more. When you're at your deepest, ready to come into the pose, bring the arms out to the sides. Pull the elbows back. Five breaths again. Last inhale. And then exhale, press the feet into the mat. Lower the arms. And then come on out. All right, so next pose, we're going to do high lunge. You can have a chair, if you have a chair handy, have it available. It's not going to be absolutely necessary. So you're going to be able to do everything without the chair. But I'm going to use the chair, and you might find it useful to have. So we start high lunge. We want our feet to be both facing forward. So we don't want the back leg turned out. We want the back leg straight like that, right? And you'll be on the ball of your foot. So for me, you want about as long a stance as you can handle and be stable. If you need more width to be stable, you can let your feet be wider. You still want your feet pointing forward. All right, so you find the right width for your feet. You bring your hands to your waist. And then, so we start off in this lunge pose. And since, we're really just warming up our legs a little bit here, so we're gonna do a high lunge a few times. So we'll start just sit, nice upright position. Okay. Your back foot heel is off the mat. Both feet are pointing forward as much as you can. Okay. This knee wants to be over the ankle. Come and then return to your breath. Nice and steady. Last one. And then to come out, take a big inhale and bring your weight forward and step to an even landing point. So as you're coming out of the pose, you want to be as focused and steady as you can. And then we'll step back the other foot for high lunge here. Again, we're just sort of warming up our high lunge. So we start with a relatively easier lunge. So we come into our lunge, back heels off the mat, knee over ankle, chest is lifted, spine is straight. Come back to our breath. Last breath. And then inhale, bring your weight forward and step back. Okay. Now, we're going to do high lunge again. Step the back foot back. Find your comfortable pose. Do a little warm up. Here we go with some arms now. High lunge, back is straight. Inhale the arms up. 5 breaths. Last one. And again, arms down, inhale, step forward, step the other side back. Again, start with the hands on the hips, come to your lunge position, inhale the arms up, steady breath. Last breath in. Exhale, hands down, inhale, step back. Okay. Again, step the right foot back. And then inhale the arms up. Press the palms together, let the gaze go up. if you find this is challenging from a stability standpoint, go to any other of the high lunge poses that we did. All right, you might find you can press your palms together but keep your gaze forward. Maybe looking up is going to change your balance. So really experiment with it. Couple more breaths. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, step forward. Okay, last side. Come back to a high lunge. Hands on the hips. Inhale the arms up. Press the palms together. Maybe let the gaze go up. Depending on your balance. Listen to your body. Do what feels right to your body. Last breath in. Hands to your hips. Inhale, step forward. And release. Okay. One last high lunge. I know these are hard, but we're really working to build both flexibility and strength in these poses. And we're working on our balance and we're working on our arms. So a lot of good things that all happen within all this. So this is the one I wanted you to think about having a chair for. So come to the high lunge. So this can really help sort of find some depth in the pose. So you can really sink the hips a little bit farther here. Maybe lengthen your lunge. Right? Now that we're warmed up, you can get a little deeper. And you have the chair to support yourself. Now if you're not on a chair, okay, the pose we're really looking for would be a pose like this. So it's a very strong, challenging pose, right? But with the chair, we can sort of get a lot of that effect, but we're not going to fall over and hurt ourselves, hopefully. So we can use our hands here to really find this ability to deepen into it, press the chest down, find a greater length in the lunge. You could even maybe bring your forearms down to the chair. It's a very nice steadying pose if you can sort of just relax into it. And then to come out, you're just going to walk your hands back and step your feet sort of one in and come on forward and come on out. All right, last lunge we got here. Other side. So step the feet forward, hands come to the chair. Your legs are nice and warmed up, so see how deep a lunge you can get. Use your hands. If you're feeling nice and strong, you can reach the hands forward. If you want to keep the hands on the chair, that's great too. You want to bring your forearms down. All kinds of things you can do in this pose. They can really lengthen, deepen all aspects of this kind of high lunge. And really get into the quads, hamstrings. A lot of different ways this pose can get activated depending on where you put your hands. Right? If you have your hands turned out a bit, you rotate your elbows, rotate your arms, so the biceps are pushing forward, that affects the whole side body as well. So it's another way to sort of engage. All right, I think we've been in this pose longer than I intended. So to come out, step one foot in, one foot out, and come to a steady position, and then release, and shake the legs out. Okay. Now, next one, you can either use the chair, or you can do it on the mat. We're going to do down dog to plank. We're going to do that 5 times with 5 breaths on each one. So it's challenging. So it can be a little bit easier if you use the chair. We're going to be going to child's pose after doing this. So at any point you get tired, you can just come into child's pose. So if you're doing it straight on the mat, it's going to be exactly the way I described. We'll come to down dog. 5 breaths. 5 breaths. 5 breaths. We'll do that. You can also use the chair. So you can have a little bit of a modified down dog pose. It's still basically down dog, right? To plank. Back to down dog. To plank. Okay? So really, it's up to you, any way you want to do this, and you only have to do as much as you really feel like doing. Then we'll all go to child's pose. So let's start, I'll just do it on the chair so you can see what that looks like. So to start off, we come into our down dog position. So whatever, if you're on the mat and you're doing down dog, that's cool, that's fine. I'm going to be on the mat, I'm going to be using a chair, and you want to make sure the legs of the chair are on the mat so it doesn't go anywhere. And I come into a modified down dog, sort of almost a puppy dog kind of pose, but hands are on the chair. Still feels like down dog for the most part, a little less intense on the arms, but still pretty much feels like a down dog. And I lost my count of breaths, but I'm sure we've been here long enough. We can inhale and come to plank. Inhale, press back to down dog, puppy dog, 5 breaths. Next inhale, come to plank. Next inhale, back to down dog. Next inhale, back to plank. Back to down dog. Inhale, back to plank. Inhale, back to down dog, last one. Remember, you can be in child's pose by now, if that's where you want to be. Last round in down dog, one more plank after this. Inhale back to plank. Back to down dog. And then to come out, just walk your feet in. And come on down all the way to the mat. And you're going to come to child's pose. And we'll do 5 nice long breaths here in child's pose. Maybe you want something for your head to rest on. May feel more, a little more comfortable. It's up to you. And then gently lift your head, come up onto your hands and knees, and smooth the chair out of the way. And on your hands and knees, step your right foot forward. Have your back toes curled under. Come to a low lunge. And then bring your palms together, bring your elbows together. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Five breaths. Each inhale, lift the elbows a little bit higher. Keep the back straight. Don't lean forward. Keep nice upright spine. Last inhale up. Then lean forward. Let the body come forward, 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 forward. Uncurl those toes and point the back toes straight back behind you and come on back to an upright position. Inhale the arms up. 5 breaths here. Inhale, each inhale, reach up towards the ceiling. Now from here, let your gaze go up between your hands, press your palms together. 5 breaths here. Each inhale, reach with the palms, pressing up towards the ceiling as high as you can. Reach, reach, reach. Last one. Inhale up. Hands back to your heart center. And bring the hands back to the mat. Come back to all fours. Let's do 5 cat-cows. Inhale, press the chest down through the gateway of your arms. As you exhale, press the back body up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And as you're doing this, make sure you're really trying to spin your biceps forward as much as you can. Whether you're inhaling or exhaling, keep that rotation as much as you can. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to neutral. Step the left foot forward. Low lunge on this side. Curl the back toes under. Bring your palms together, elbows together. Inhale. Lift the elbows up. Steady breath. 5 breaths. Inhale up. Each inhale, lift the elbows a little more. And lean forward, bringing the weight forward. Uncurl the back toes, point the toes straight back. Come on back to a low lunge. Inhale the arms up. Again, 5 breaths here. I should have mentioned this earlier, but really, if you struggle with these low lunges, use a blanket, cushion, any towel, anything under the knee that gives you a little cushioning is certainly fine. One more breath. And press the palms together. Let the gaze go up between the hands. Start looking at the palms. 5 breaths here. Keep pressing with the hands. Last breath in. And then lower the hands back to the mat. Back to your hands and knees. And come to the last really sequence here. And you're going to, if you have a block, you can use the block, and we're going to do a forearm plank. So you can use a block and put your hands in this position. So your palms are spread, your fingers are spread, the corners of the block are right in between your thumb and forefinger. And then you walk your elbows in, and you do your forearm plank this way. If you don't have a block, or something like it, another way is to interlace your fingers this way. Bring them to the mat, walk your elbows in, and you can do the forearm plank this way. Okay? Either way you do it, we'll be in it for 10 breaths. And 10, it can seem like a long time. It's it'll be close to a minute. But I want you to not worry about that. If you're tired, come out. You can come in and out 4 times if you want. Doesn't matter, right? So I want you to listen to your body and do what feels right. If you can do all 10 breaths, that's great. If you need a little in and out or break or just need to rest, that's fine too. So I'm going to do it with a block today. But either way, you want your forearms on the mat, pressing down nice and strong. Walk the elbows in no matter how you're doing it. Step one foot back, step the other foot back, lower down. Press the heels towards the wall behind you. Reach with the crown of the head forward. So your body is nice and straight. It's like a board, like a plank. Come back to your breath. Nice, long, even breaths. halfway there. Two more. And then to come out, just lower down gently. Move the block out of the way if you're using it, or just bring your forehead to the mat. Bring your hands to your sides. Point your toes. Top of the feet are pressing down. Palms are pressing down. Slide your hands up towards your hips, bending your elbows so that you're on your fingertips. Fingers are pointing in the direction of your toes. With your hands and fingers tented like this, squeeze the elbows towards each other. And then inhale, lift the head, lift the chest, press the feet into the mat, squeeze the elbows in, squeeze the shoulder blades, squeeze the elbows, lift, lift, lift. Last inhale, and release down. Place the hands with the fingers forward right by your low ribs. Palms flat on the mat. Inhale, up to upward dog. Five breaths here. Last inhale. Exhale to down dog. Any way you get there, come back to down dog. This time fully on the mat. 5 breaths. Last breath in, and then come on down to your knees. Come to child's pose. And just come into child's pose for a couple moments, 5 breaths here. And then come on up. And come out to your back. And do Shavasana. So, lie back. Have your legs straight out in front of you. Let your palms be sort of turned up towards the ceiling. And take a moment here to let go of that steady breath we just did. Did a lot of breathing. So let go. The body's probably used to that nice, long, steady inhale and exhale. So just let that go. As you come into Shavasana, see if you can send the signal to the body that the work time is over, that time now is for rest. The body can relax, the muscles can relax. Letting the breath start to drift away from any conscious breathing into that subconscious breath that we rely on all the time for our existence. And bring a little softness to the eyes, the cheeks. Maybe bring a smile to your face and just notice the softening that occurs when you smile. Let the energy drift its way down through the body, through the belly, through the lower part of the body, into the legs. Just let it all drift out through the feet as you let Shavasana become the pose that matters, the only pose that matters now. All the other things are done, so just enjoy a few minutes of Shavasana, of relaxation, of quiet and stillness. Shavasana. keeping the eyes closed, make your way to a seated position. Any comfortable seated position. And as you get into a seated position, sit up nice and tall, back is straight. Keep the eyes closed. Just pause for a moment, check in, see how you're feeling. See how you're feeling physically, emotionally, mentally. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Take a moment and recall the intention that you started the practice with. Acknowledge that intention. Bring love and gratitude into your heart. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today for this Gentle Yoga Flow. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me on the JCC Facebook page. And I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks. Thanks. Have a great day.